painting. What does light painting offer you the chance to do that nothing else does?
I am a very logical person, and I come from the world of computer science and code. And so if you throw a few hundred lines of SQL code in front of me and tell me to connect it to a database and query it, I feel very at home doing that. So when I switched over to photography, I didn't have that ability to see things in an artful way, the composition when people would discuss stuff. I just didn't see it. And because of that, I realized that I'm not going to try and compete with your Rocco and Cora's or Jerry Guionis's on just pure skill, because they've been doing it longer and they can do it better. So I just need to do something that's a little bit different and in the style that I like, which is this dark, edgy, grungy style. And so because of that, I tried light painting. It was Super Bowl Sunday, and I got to the bar where we were shooting. That's actually a bar, that first one that's used in the promo. I got to the bar about an hour early because it was snowing in Chicago, and I thought with the Super Bowl that I didn't want to be late to their shoot. And so when I got there, I was like, you know what, this would be neat. Let me try this light painting thing that I've kind of read about and tinkered with. And that shot came out of that. When they walked in, I'm like, please don't move anything, because I'm going to have you guys sit in the chairs. Everything's sort of set in place. And then I kind of painted them in, or painted 2/3 of them in, I guess I should say. And so then that kind of stuck. When they saw that, they're like, we want that as the biggest print that you can do for our wall. And then a couple weddings came from that, and yeah. So
but you kind of keep it on the QT. It's not big and bold on your website or anything. It's kind of on the QT. There again, that other reason to make sure you get the client's bones in the studio so they can see and touch your work.
Yeah, I want them to maybe see an image or two in my portfolio. They don't need to know that that's a light painting or what it is. I think that takes some of the magic out of it if they were to. If I have I'm a specialist in light painting, because then brides today will research everything, so they'll Google and be like, oh, okay, that's how it's done. And I kind of leave it like a magic trick, so when they come in and I actually tell the story, I have the story to tell, and I'm not just repeating something that it says on my website. The most intensive process is probably is posing the people and making sure that they don't move. So I usually end up shooting one subject about 3 or 4 times just to make sure I have them from every single angle and that a part of their body isn't missing later. There's actually a little bit of an Easter egg, which I didn't know until my manager pointed it out. But that the image that you guys used as the promotion, which I think it might have loaned at PPA, and it definitely took a silver at WPPI. The groom actually there has no body because I forgot to paint it in. So if you look close enough, and it's hanging on my wall, I've got it not too far away from me. It's hanging I think it's a 20 by 30. And one day we were standing there, and my manager just asked me, she's like, so I've been meaning to ask you this about this print. Why did you leave his body out? I'm like, what did I do? And I looked, and I'm like, oh my God, he's got no body. And nobody's ever caught it, not a single judge. And the print counts that it went through, I never saw it. And I mean, I've looked at this image. This is one of the first ones that I've done, so I've had my eyes on this more than any other one. But so yeah, you can get away with a lot when you light paint. It's not necessarily going to get you any print awards or anything along those lines. And I think a lot of folks are looking to do something different, get it into a print competition and have it win. But what happens oftentimes is that photographers, professionals who are looking at your work may look at it and say that I don't like it, it looks very poor because your light sources are coming from all over the place, it's illogical. And so it's definitely an acquired taste, not just in print competition, but some clients will look at it and be like, that's not for me. I kind of like the light and airy thing, and this goes very, very dark and very heavy and moody. And so it's not necessarily a fit for everybody. It's great to know it and to be able to do it in a pinch, especially you might do it not on a person. Objects are very common. I've seen people do it on cars, but maybe you're doing it on the details later on and you don't have enough lights to light the rings a certain way or whatever it is. And so you can just light paint it in. But it's definitely an acquired taste. I'm going to try and chat a little bit, not about the how I do it. I think how I light paint and how anybody light paints can be described in 10, 15 minutes. but it's the why and the what and where does the inspiration come from, and I kind of want to focus in on that a little bit as well.